brother down with Shizzy, Whiz, Nut.
Open letter to Bruce BBB Matskin. Oh, your motion to dismiss, it reads like a LARP manual for failing upwards. Dear Brucey, congratulations. You've outdone yourself. Again. Not legal scholarship, of course, but the Olympic sport of narcissistic self-fellatio disguised as federal motion practice. This 42-page cosplay of Rule 12b-6 filing isn't so much a motion to dismiss as it is a delusional LARP script, where you're both the misunderstood legal hero and the last bastion of First Amendment virtue. Bravo, counselor. No, this LARPing manifesto, signed under the pretense of law, soaked in bad faith and oozing the same cowardice that led to Deuce's last courtroom faceplant, you've somehow managed to write a brief that is equal parts Reddit screed, Facebook conspiracy post, and Westlaw regurgitation. Let's get this out of the way. What you filed is not a legal argument. It's an op-ed in litigation. Cosplay. You wrote a defense not just of your actions, but of your ego, your live stream legacy, and your sacred right to insult the plaintiffs in the most smugly oversighted way possible. You turn a basic Rule 12b motion into a soliloquy worthy of a YouTube thumbnail titled Lawyer Destroys Cancel Culture with Facts and Logic. But let's break it down. First, you don't understand the assignment. The purpose of a 12b-6 motion is to argue that the claims fail as a matter of law, not to write a memoir on how unfair the world is to you. The entire first quarter of your filing reads like a previously on for Bruce's excellent YouTube adventure, where every legal principle is weaponized not to defend against a complaint, but to retell your heroic journey of coping with being told that you're absolutely fucking wrong. You whine that Hales didn't name a single subscriber he lost. Here's a reality check. That's discovery, not a prerequisite to avoid dismissal. But you know that. You're just counting on the court to throw it out so you can write your next Twitter thread about being persecuted for speaking truth. Newsflash, Bruce, you're not Galileo. You're just a guy who couldn't keep his mouth shut and got sued for it. Who really wrote this garbage? The name on the signature says Cameron L. Atkinson, but let's be honest, this has the greasy fingerprints of Bruce the Bubbles Manskin all over it. It reads like every other document he's ever ghostwritten for his sock puppet defendants, verbose, masturbatory, and obsessed with portraying himself as the misunderstood prophet of legal integrity while dripping contempt for the truth. Same cadence, same citations, same sanctimonious bullshit. Hell, it's the same exact playbook he ran ghostwriting motions for Michelle Preston and John Cook under the cover of Pro Se. Are we really supposed to believe that Cameron Atkinson, a supposedly licensed lawyer with a pulse and bar number, authored 42 pages of defending Ducey's YouTube tantrums, Facebook stalking, email sabotage as if they're protected speech under the First Amendment? So you're telling me you hitched your name to a guy who told a minor he'd pay $100 for private audio recording of a conversation with a plaintiff, then bragged about it in a group chat used to coordinate anti-Hale's YouTube content. This isn't protected conduct. It's the definition of tortious interference, defamation, and aiding and abetting. But here you are, wrapped in a First Amendment flag and hoping nobody noticed that your client is bleeding from a dozen self-inflicted wounds. And guess what? We noticed. So will the court. So will everyone with an IQ above room temperature who's watching the circus unfold in real time. Really, Cameron? Blink twice if you need help. Then there's the LARPing. That motion reads like you wrote it while staring in the mirror, dramatically whispering phrases like marketplace of ideas and qualified privilege, while practicing your best Alan Dershowitz impression. The real kicker, you cite Delmonico and pretend like you're, hey, whatnot. Hales is running a litigation scam email was just you doing wholesome discovery. It wasn't. It was you violating every canon of decency and probably a few bar rules while ceasing a platform that your target relies on for income. You want us to believe that this was a good faith legal inquiry. That's like setting someone's business on fire and calling it an unstructured, like lightning audit. Scrubbing your hands while covered in ink. Did you claim you're just a humble lawyer defending a client? Sure, if that defense requires organizing live stream strategy chats, coordinating with two fleas to release videos, begging for a teenager's audio recording like it's a Zapruder film, and launching a defamation carnival on every social media you can access. Face it, Bruce, you're not just in the ecosystem, you fertilized it with your own shit. And now you're clutching your pearls because someone called it what it is, a coordinated defamation campaign disguised as commentary. You didn't just join the anti-what-the-hells gang, you brought spreadsheets, streaming schedules, and your own brand of venom. The free speech defense you keep recycling is getting pretty moldy. Ah yes, First Amendment, your trusty shield for everything from calling people one-testicled homophobes to accusing them of perjury and emails to third parties. But let's be honest, your defense of rhetorical hyperbole is just a fancy way of saying, I want to call people stalkers and conmen without consequences, but like your favorite live stream hangouts, federal court requires actual facts. You say Jeremy Hales is a public figure and therefore fair game. Sure, he's public, but even public figures are allowed to hold their business relationships without sabotage by a loose cannon who thinks defamation is covered under a funny lawyer guy on YouTube. You admit flat out that your client called for the creation of the anti-what-the-hells media ecosystem, and your excuse, more speech is the answer to bad speech. Wrong. More speech is not the issue. Coordinated defamation designed to inflict reputational and economic harm is. This isn't about expressing unpopular views. It's about smearing someone across multiple platforms using distorted or fabricated claims, weaponizing YouTube, Facebook, and Discord, and sustained harassment campaign, infiltrating private communities to harvest content for legal ambushes. That's not commentary, that's Rico-like cosplay operation with a YouTube banner and delusions of grandeur. And let's not forget, this filing is a panic move. You filed this because the noose of accountability is getting tighter and you know it. You've got those sanctions coming. You've already been called out by a federal judge, and now with deposition conduct, email records, social media receipts stacking against you, you're trying to lawyer your way out of a trap you built yourself, Doocy. Irony, you helped build the record that's going to destroy you. You're the reason so much evidence exists. Every chat log, every unhinged rant, every desperate message about Landon's audio file is your fingerprint smeared across this case. You say there's no evidence of breach. Hales is still operating. Here's the part you admit. He's operating under siege with a swarm of trolls and defamation echo chambers orchestrated by your client. The goal was never to get what not to cancel him outright. It was to poison the well, destroy his reputation, scare off sponsors, subscribers, and partners. You want the court to believe that no harm happened just because he still has a platform? That's like saying a man who got shot in the leg wasn't really harmed because he can still crawl. Let's not ignore the gall of arguing Section 230 immunity for platforms you don't represent, as if Facebook and YouTube need bubbles, unsolicited, caped crusading. Here's a final thought. Bruce, this isn't a motion to dismiss. It's a confessional with law license. It's a bad faith TED Talk for disbarment curious, and this is inevitably denied, or worse, converted into a Rule 56 bloodbath. You'll get to add another footnote to your unfairly persecuted maverick LARP, but don't worry, you can always monetize it. Maybe title the next stream How I Got Owned in Federal Court, the free speech martyrdom of Bubbles. Warmest regards, Shizzy Wisnut, defender of truth, slayer of legal cosplayers, and the guy who sees through your ecosystem of crap, calls out your fake filings, and will be here when those sanctions fall.